Alright, so this is like the most niche topic known to man, but I'm gonna get a crack at it. Which animation studio would have the best basketball team? I took a look at every major animation studio's characters and crafted a starting 5 for them, and I'm gonna rank which one is the best. Kicking off our list in last place is Illumination. I think this is partially from the fact that Illumination really doesn't have a lot of movies compared to the other companies. Original movies, that is, though, because they just keep churning out sequels. Anyways, at the point, we've got the homegirl Peach. The entire Mario movie is kind of just about how she's a girl boss, so I think this just kind of fits. Also, she's tall. Not much to say besides that, so moving on, at the shooting guard, we got Luigi. This is another Mario movie character, but I low-key think Luigi would be a really good teammate and just kind of pass you the ball whenever you want it. So yeah, should he be at point guard? Probably, but do I give a crap? No. And then at the small forward, I got the Grinch because he's so lengthy. Also, I really can just picture the Grinch sitting on the wing and drilling a 3 like he's Klay Thompson, especially if he's got a sick pass from Princess Peach herself. And then kicking off the big man duo with Gru at power forward. I'm only doing this because I'm 90% sure that Jokic is a Gru reference. And yeah, Jokic is a center, but we can't put Gru at center because there's this one 10-foot lizard thing called Bowser. Copyright, 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 I love you. Copyright. Yeah, so Bowser's just the easy decision here because he's like 10 foot tall or something. Plus, you would not want to get in the post with this man because it could kind of just back you down to death. Now let's move on to our number 4 slot, which is DreamWorks. Even though DreamWorks is at 4, they're still miles ahead of Illumination. I said before, this is probably because DreamWorks' first animated movie was in 1998, while Illumination's first movie was in 2010. That means DreamWorks got a 12-year head start. Anyways, at the 1, we've got Puss in Boots. Can you imagine throwing a lob up to Puss in Boots for him to jump 10 foot in the air and catch it? I can, and that's why I put him here. My only concern with Puss in Boots is that he's definitely going to be a ball hog, and I have him at the point guard, but there's not much I can do when he's like 2 foot tall. And the acrobatics are hard to argue against, so I think he has to be on the team. Next up, we have Mr. Peabody. Now, this might seem like a really dumb decision, but I have no doubt that he can 100% calculate the trajectory of the ball and make it in every time. As a coach, he could take a full court shot every single play, and I wouldn't be worried because I know he has a plan. Not quite sure how him and Puss will mesh on and off the court, though. On the court, we've got 2 players that are like 2 foot tall, so that's not going to end well. And off the court, Puss is just going to be calling Mr. Peabody a nerd all day. At the 3, I have Skipper from Penguins of Madagascar. This team has no height so far, but you gotta trust the process here. Skipper is the leader of the Penguins, so he'd obviously be a great leader on the court. And that's pretty much all I have to say for him. And then at power forward, I've got Skipper's right-hand man, Kowalski. Obviously, this adds a lot of chemistry to the team and slightly more height because he is the tallest of all the Penguins. I was thinking about putting Moto here, but I decided against it. And at the 5, we have the gigantic man himself, Toothless. That is why it didn't matter if we had height anywhere else, because we have a 10-foot dragon on the team. My sources tell me that Toothless is about 7 foot tall when he's standing how he normally is, and I assume that's what he'd be doing when he's playing basketball. And that's, center height. And that might not seem like too much, but at the end of the day, he's still a dragon and could probably take up at least half the court. And that is mainly why I have DreamWorks at the 4 spot. And now it's time to move on to the 3rd best basketball team in all of major animation, and that is Sony. Sony's just got a lot of regular humans, but I think they can ball. So at the point guard is Miles Morales himself. We don't really ever see Miles ball, but he's like 15 and short, and I need a point guard. So yeah, who else am I supposed to put at my point? Red? At shooting guard, we've got Spider-Noir. He looks to be on the taller side, and he's just lengthy and whatnot. Once again, not much reasoning here, but he looks like he could drop some buckets. At small forward, we've got our burly wing, Officer Earl. He might just look like a normal police officer, but imagine you're Stephen Curry about to shoot a 3. You see someone closing out in the distance. All of a sudden, he's right next to you and screaming, "Steph Curry!" This man has a maxed out speed stat, dude. At the 4, we've got the Mighty Eagle from the great film Angry Birds. I know Mighty Eagle is washed up, but I think he's got one more in him. I personally think he'll be fine to be a power forward on this great basketball team. Not much else to say, so moving past that, we've got Terrence. Also from the Angry Birds movie, I know this guy is going to be a beast at center. I would personally be very scared and just run away if I saw this man trying to post me up. And if you aren't saying the same, you're lying. Just look at my glorious King Terrence. And that is it for Team Sony. Next, we have our first championship team in Disney. Disney takes the number 2 spot, mostly because they've been around for forever. But that's besides the point. At the point guard, we have Judy Hopps. I feel like Judy's a good fit for this team just because she's quick. It also clearly shows in Zootopia that no matter how small she is, she will always defy what people think about her. Also, at the end of the day, she's a bunny and could probably jump and dunk. Next up at the 2, we've got Tarzan. This man is tough. His mother died and he had to raise himself in the wilderness. He can shoot threes because he's white, but he's also a rare specimen where he's white and athletic. This man could definitely posterize you. Next up at the small forward, we've got Ralph from Wreck-It Ralph. He should be a pretty tall small forward, which will give him an edge against a lot of the other teams that are very small in general. Also, he's just a big guy that could really do anything and bully people in the paint. Our next player is Baymax at the 4. He is a robot at the end of the day, so he's going to be very durable, plus he's very controllable. What I mean by that is that he's not the brightest, so if you tell him to shoot, he's going to shoot. You tell him to pass you the ball, he's going to pass the ball. He might do some stuff wrong, but with good coaching, I think he'll be a monster. At center, we've got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Sorry, Maui, my fault. I don't know how legal shape-shifting is in basketball, but even if he doesn't shape-shift, he will back you down. A lot of guys on these lists are only here because they can back you down, so I feel like I've said that 18,000 times. Also, if he can't back you down, he's got some IQ. He's got a lot of street smarts on him. And if his street smarts translate into basketball IQ, he will be a Hall of Famer. All right, now give me a drum roll because it is time for our number 1 team, and that is Pixar. I think this might be because they have a lot of unique characters and a lot of diversity when it comes to who's pitching the shows and making them come true. Starting the lineup at our point guard is Woody. This is mostly because of this image, but partially because if you make him mad, he will throw you out a window. I did forget while making this list that he's like 3 inches tall, and that will hurt his case a bit, but oh well. At our shooting guard, finishing out the backcourt is a bit of a random pick, but it's Riley's dad from Inside Out. I don't know why, but I really can picture Riley's dad being a washed-up NBA player. Or someone who was really good in high school but then blew out his knee and missed a scholarship from Florida State. If you put Riley's dad on the elbow, I guarantee you he'll give you the fundamentals and hit a shot on you. At small forward, we have Bob, a.k.a. Mr. Incredible. Mr. Incredible's playstyle would probably be closer to a power forward's playstyle, but I have someone who has a better case of power forward. I don't really have a lot to say here about Mr. Incredible besides the fact that he can and will dunk on you. That man who has a better case at power forward is Sully. Even in the Monsters movies, we see that Sully is a big bully, and if he can carry that anger onto the court, he'll be just fine. He's a big, tall monster. What else is there to say? Now, you might be saying, hey, Will, this team isn't that good, but let me tell you about the center. The center is from the movie you all forgot about. He is the character you all forgot about. My man, Arlo! This man is 18 feet tall. He is an Apatosaurus whose neck alone is the height of at least 2 small children. Not 1 small child, I say, but 2 of them. If he puts the ball in his mouth, he will dominate. And that is as long as he doesn't deflate the ball with his teeth. Pixar are officially the champions of the Animation Basketball League.